alive.
All right, everybody, welcome to July 5th Select Board meeting. This is, of course, on Tuesday because July 4th was our normal Monday meeting, and that wouldn't make sense. So we will get ourselves going now at 6:35, as per our usual, with an opening of the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm just gonna check the audio real quick. And a roll call. Dave Hemingway, Chair, Select Board.
Marlo Herrick.
Normandy Blake.
All right, and with that, we'll move into announcements. Hopefully everybody had a happy, fun, and safe 4th of July and Independence Day. For announcements, the one thing that I can think of offhand is chicken dinner. So I'm gonna ask our chief to say a couple quick bits about that for dates and times and how it's running this year.
Oh, I know it's this month, the 23rd, but just let me double check that, so,
Sounds right.
Right, audio's working.
it is,
Yep.
bring it up.
No, you call.
And do we have tickets at Town Hall for
We
that?
do have some tickets at Town Hall. They're also available at the Safety Building on Wednesday nights.
Get a hold of any of the fire department and they can get you tickets. Or if not, open hours here, we have a few.
How many, do we have a lot, is there a lot of tickets left?
There's been a lot sold, we're doing 200 dinners.
Yeah,
I don't have the count that's been sold, but there has been, right here, awesome, okay, so.
isn't it fun when you find it?
It's, the 23rd of this month, 4:30
4:30.
to, 6 PM. Chicken dinner for $15. And, it's sponsoring Sindel Scholarship.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I know it used to always be a come eat there sort of thing, and then it went to
So,
drive-through.
yeah,
Is
it was a
kind of
drive-through.
both this year?
COVID is kinda not bearing down on us too bad at the moment, so that was kind of up in the air. A lot of folks did just want to drive through because it's fast, clean up and everything, but I like to socialize and visit with the townsfolk and people that come to travel, so we did vote, and I did get the upper hand on that one, so, we still are gonna have takeout, if people don't wanna stay and eat, but we are gonna have tables and chairs for the folks that wanna sit down and visit and, hang out for a little bit.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
That's really awesome.
So, that's how we're doing it this year, and the driveway is paved, it is awesome, it feels
Ready.
good, it looks good, and,
It's not a wave machine anymore?
no, no, it is, so it's, we've gained, probably 8 parking places. It's nice,
Sounds good.
so, yeah, we have tickets Wednesday nights, Russ and the folks here at Dana have them here at the town hall. Took a handful to the campground, cause they're a big supporter of the,
Mhm.
That's a
chicken.
great idea.
Yeah,
great
yeah,
idea.
no, Joe down there, he,
Yeah.
they support the chicken dinner,
Awesome.
So there's quite a few tickets that are still available.
yeah.
Yeah, and so you can get a town hall, campground, or if they maybe
Mhm.
call the fire department or
Yeah,
whatever, they can.
yeah, we put.
How about people just showing up?
They
just take the risk?
They take the risk.
Yeah.
They take the risk of, maybe going home hungry.
Right? It could happen. Well, that would be,
The chickens might
Sad but
already
good.
be spoken for.
I know, well, yeah, sad but good.
Right, so pre-buy, that's a winner. And then there's no waste.
I think you usually sell out.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, I think
We
you do.
usually do.
Yeah.
We usually do.
And
But
it's only July.
But it's a busy
Yeah.
month, you know, it's a busy, it's busy. Everybody's busy.
All right, do we have any other announcements?
I do not.
Webster
Okay.
Grapevine's gonna be a couple days late, too many family things going on.
I hear you, sister.
Late over a holiday weekend
Yeah, how
with
dare
lots of
I.
loud explosions? I mean, I never would have thought. Okay, so moving out of announcements, I'll do the normal part of that for the project status update. No real change for White Plains Bridge, that's still going and waiting for full approval from DES. Clothespin Bridge is, as mentioned previously, delayed but progressing, and now 100% funded by the state and federal governments. The next steps for that have changed a little as well, so now it's federal training for our town admin and new details and process from VHB as far as dealing with the landowners and abutters. The sand shed is still about the same. We're waiting to see what the story is going to be with the access to that. Our hopeful second driveway plan didn't work, so now we have some other questions on how we might be able to do that. That process is ongoing and what that process will look like. Town Hall is ongoing as always. Department of Labor compliance, all that stuff was now certified as completed.
Yes.
And the ceiling camera that you're now all watching from has of course been installed. Upcoming is more security and ADA stuff for requesting more door and fob quotes. The fire certification inspection was supposed to have happened, but we're still waiting on them to be available to come do it. And then further ADA work. Town property sales is always ongoing, and you will be hearing about more bids to be opened later tonight. Deer Meadow Solar, nothing has changed. We're still or I should say they're still waiting on third-party studies. Digital Records is recommendations are expected later this month from the Digital Records platforms and the Records Retention Committee. Policy reviews are majority is completed. We're still waiting for the Personnel Policy Committee to come present to the board, which I believe is at the next meeting.
Next meeting they'll be here.
And so that sums up the project status. And again, this is typically posted up to the website. Sometimes it's slightly before the meeting, sometimes slightly after. This one will be slightly after. But there you go. So that moves us on to appointments, which is department head reports, of which we have one.
Okay.
Well,
so-
technically two.
Well, yeah. So we'll go to the firehouse, seeing we were there. Yeah, the other day, I don't think we've had a meeting since this, but a bunch of us brought the fire trucks up the last day of the next to the last day of school. Over there and sprayed the kids, and that's always a blast, and
That's so awesome.
and they really enjoy that, and then they give us ice cream, and we had a good turnout, we had a good crew of people help us with that. I went over and Steve was in his office, and I said, hey, we're going to the school, and so he came up and mingled around, and then one of the officers came up after when he left, and they were there with us, in case any of the kids give us a hard time. So the fire budget, there's 60.19% of that still left, so that gives us $64,577.53, balance remaining. On that, I did order 4 new pagers, which I need to get a PO put together and signed on that. last month, was our first month that, the first Wednesday of the month, a lot of the people aren't there, they're doubling up on their, meeting night and their truck check night, so they can spend some more time with their family during the summer. Myself and 2 or 3 other members have been down there then Wednesday nights when they're not around to do fire permits, and, we've been cleaning up and, doing some janitorial work and, keeping the place cleaned up on that off night, so, we had 13 calls of service in the month of June. Mostly medical calls. Yeah. Yeah, all medical calls, yeah. So, yeah, things are going round and round.
When I went down and got the fire permit that I had forgotten about, because I thought I'd already gotten it earlier, they were heading out to do some dry hydrant checks. How did all of those turn out?
Oh, the dry hydrant at D's.
Yeah, that was good. Wondering what's
We
going
have that bagged, I've gotta dig that up, that must've got hit during the winter or something, and down into the elbow is,
Okay.
leaking water. The other one that they worked down the street worked just fine. We did, was it last fall, we shortened the one up behind the school, because it was too long of a draft. And, we tested that last fall, but we pumped water off in it for an hour and a half the other day going for the kids to the school, and it's working fine. They're, thank
That's
you.
really a neat tradition, having the
I
kids.
think that's
They did that for my kids,
fantastic,
and that's a
absolutely,
long
yeah.
time ago. It's
Well,
always fun.
my
Yeah.
oldest is 27, so yeah, for me, yeah, too, but you're,
Mine are older.
I know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been since, what, 99, we've done it, we did it all but 1 year when the fuel got up to $5 a gallon. The selectmen didn't let us, said that not to do that, but like Steve, when I was visiting with him, he says, well, we're not paying that this year, and you know something, and I just said, well, it's only money, let's go take care of the kids, and it, you know, what are we paying for fuel over there? It hasn't gone up that much for
Well,
us.
and you're not going very far.
And you
Yeah.
know what, the PR on that, the public relations
Yeah.
on
Oh,
that,
what the
is
kids
a
learn.
1000%.
It's worth $1 million.
I'm
Yep,
very happy that
exactly.
Steve came down, that's just awesome.
Yep.
Very,
Yeah,
very nice.
yeah.
That's why we like living in a small town.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
There is benefits. May not have a gas station or a store, but the
Yeah,
fire
but
station shows up and sprays our kids. Things
Yeah.
are good.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Perfect.
I was just going, yeah, so that's what's been going on.
And just as the public record, if you were like me and forgot to get a fire permit, please realize that and go get one.
Yeah, Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, somebody will help you.
You feel lucky.
So now on the highway part, any more questions on the firehouse?
Nope.
I guess I'll ask one, just because I ask it each month. Where are we at with the fire truck, the new one?
Oh, the new one? Same as where we were last month. I got word from Chris Champagne, the salesperson, general manager. The truck is gonna be built go into production the 1st of December, and hopefully by the 1st of the year, it will be going into the body shop to have the body built
Nice.
for it. And, they called from Charlie Brothers, the old Caterpillar garage at Exit 7, they inspect the fire trucks, because they're due next month. So they're all scheduled to go in the first week of next month, to be inspected. thank you for reminding me on that. So, that's done.
And speaking of the new vehicles, there was discussion about trying to find, I think it was a used, but a newer ambulance. What is the current, like, what's happening there?
Well, the one that we were looking at, it's not a done deal with the other town, but it's been talked about. But they're gonna order a new ambulance, but by the time they get the new ambulance, it's gonna be 2 years out. So, in a lot of the other towns at the capital area meetings, it's the same for everybody, cause it's taken so long to get stuff built. Ours is doing the job. It would be, but, so it's work in progress.
Okay.
But just the way everything's happening, I was hoping it was gonna be sooner than later, but,
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
yeah. So, on the highway part of it, people have blessed us with a load of, an old mattress and some sort of, big vacuum cleaner, floor mopping machine and a gas grill and some other stuff on Roby Road last week. And then I got a text and a picture from Phil on Thursday. They blessed us with, somebody sawed up a, fiberglass boat into chunks and a couch or a sofa and 3 tires. And I was gonna pick that up Friday because the dump was open in the afternoon, but I got tied up haying and didn't get there in time. And then the dump, I don't know if it was open, so the dump's open tomorrow, so we have to go pick the stuff up, because there's no sense in picking it up, taking it home or somewhere and dumping it off and then loading it on, so.
Right.
Unless some nice neighbor has picked it up.
Where
So
was that
somebody just leaves stuff on,
Oh,
like,
right out,
they
yeah.
sawed it up and left it right on
Yeah,
the
it's
side?
right on, if you go up over the hill by the Pearson farm, to
Yeah.
come around the sharp corner where the fields are.
Yeah.
And you look back at your house, they parked right on the corner so they could watch headlights both ways. But Phil says the rest of the boat is out into flood control. So we didn't get it all, but we got some.
They shared with the feds in the town.
I mean, they already put it in a truck.
Yeah.
You think they could just lug it over to the?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, that's why we only get 3 tires.
Right.
Yeah, bring one.
So,
Oh, my God.
Gotta give the federal government their 25% cut.
Right.
and there has been, not loads of tires here, there, and everywhere, but it's noticeable here, one there, and,
Just bring them to the dump.
yeah, no, the girls, or the young ladies, or the
Oh, they're great at the
people that
dump.
work at the dump are great.
Yeah, they are, they really are.
I took the stuff over from Roby Road, and we had an old television at the safety building I threw in on the same trip, and, no, they're great,
And that's why I just don't understand why people have to just leave
Yeah.
it on the side of the road.
What do
I
they
mean,
charge you to bring in old TVs?
if it comes from the town, or you pick it
Yeah.
up for trash, nothing, because
Okay.
we're part of the,
Right, that's what, so,
Yeah.
but you're saying if somebody just came out of town.
And they have, I mean, there's some stuff that they charge for, even if you're in town, but, unless they just had it, I think coming up in the next week, or in the next couple of weeks is their, free
Paint
dump
one.
day.
yeah, yeah. So,
So if you've got the tires, it's time.
Yeah.
so I don't believe that, I think it came from another somebody came over through
yeah, yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
but, I can't believe anybody in Webster would do anything like that.
No,
I certainly hope not.
No,
I
right,
agree.
I hope.
So, the budget Highways and streets, there's 47.60% of that left, $108,197.25 in the highway budget. And the block grant money, there's 79.79. Hey, that's what it was last month, so hey, what am I doing wrong here?
Yeah, we haven't spent a dime of it.
Summer's just starting.
So that's $58,524.02 left in that budget. Since I was here last, other than picking up dump, playing with my beaver, doing a little bit of this, that, and everything, we haven't, then we're back on track. We're gonna be back. We worked on the dump road today.
Chelsea on the road,
Calcium, I'm waiting for calcium.
yeah, but you did have done some of that,
Yeah,
yes.
a little
stuff,
here,
yeah.
there, and everything, not
Yeah.
whatever, but the, calcium tank is empty, we ordered that last week.
It's awesome.
Um,
It does so much helps.
It
My
does,
God.
it does.
I have a question. Remember you were gonna do those, some pine trees on Centennial Drive and
Yeah?
you didn't do those yet? You
No,
guys- when you
no,
gonna do that,
no, I'm
or
waiting
you're-
for the fuel to go up a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
No, we're gonna go down and mark them so they can sell the house, do
Oh,
whatever
okay.
they need to do. And, I was gonna get some help with a guy with a bucket truck, but he was busy, so I'm just gonna, I'm gonna get it.
Oh, okay,
My promise will come true.
okay. No, that's, I just was wondering what, I mean, so many things can
Bill and
happen.
Steve told me when I went down to do that, because I'm gonna shut the road down
Yeah,
to,
you got to,
to
right?
do that. But, they told me just to let them know and they'd come down, because it doesn't matter if the road says closed.
Yeah.
No
right.
bicycles, but, and that's bicycles,
There's a lot of bikers
a
involved.
lot of
Yeah.
bicycles,
Yep.
and a lot of people, if the sign says closed, they still don't stop. And,
Hard to read those signs.
Can't see the construction orange.
No,
I've done
yeah,
that.
right. No, okay,
We
that's
were
good.
working in Brattleboro, clearing out through there on Route 9 to go out to Hogback. And the Flagger girls had all the traffic stopped. And I cut this great big huge oak tree. And this big fancy car was in a hurry and didn't stop. And it left green skid marks when it went over the oak top when it all came together at the bottom. But it was my fault.
Oh, my God. I know,
course.
just common sense. Where is common sense? Jeez.
We don't have
Not
enough
so
time
common.
tonight.
Not,
Anymore.
yeah,
So,
right.
big trees and cars,
They don't match, do
car
they?
didn't win.
No.
Awesome.
So, they said they'd come down, be there when we did that, to, give us a hand, so.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions for him for roads?
I did mark out our project down on Deer Meadow Road, if somebody was asking what the paint's all about. I went along further ways than I went 2,000 feet instead of 1,500, because there's some good spots and bad spots, and I'm trying to figure out cost-effective, different ways, and, got the culvert pipes measured out to get them ordered and, stuff for that project, so,
Awesome.
that's in the workings as well.
That'll make a lot of people happy.
Well, it will. Well, it will at the end.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
not-
well, yeah.
It will at the end, but when they're sitting there waiting 5 or 10 minutes,
Yeah, I agree.
patience,
Is it-
people have no patience anymore, and I'm one of them.
Well, I'm kinda like that too, but I understand. Something like that, I'm impatient with
But it's a
myself.
road that you can drive around and go a different route,
Yeah,
Right,
right.
it's not your only way.
so,
Anyway.
all right.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do you need anything else from me?
I
free.
don't
I don't.
believe so.
I need a lot from you, but, you know.
And unless there's, because I don't remember what it is, unless there's questions for him in the code enforcement section?
No.
No.
doesn't
Okay,
need to be there.
perfect. then I think we're good.
Well, thank you for all you do and
Thank
Go
you very
home and
much for coming and
relax.
for everything you're doing.
putting up with me.
You're easy guy.
I get you.
Do we have a report from,
Okay,
our
not yet.
police chief?
I have
didn't
not
see
seen
one.
Aye.
a report from him, no.
Okay. So, no
It must be
report there,
boring.
but I assume it tells us the usual percentage of available budget and the usual list of stuff, so it's
How
probably
many
fine.
arrests they made and so forth, but I'm
If
sure
it was
that he
horrible,
can
they would let us know.
put it
Right.
together
Yeah,
for you
right,
next
well-
time.
Do you have anything as, not like a department head, but as a, you know, the town admin and so on?
I really don't have
A special
anything
one.
that's of note, that isn't on the agenda.
Perfect.
Anything interesting that we should be thinking about that came out of the normal department head meeting?
Well, of course, it was extremely interesting,
Oh, yes,
Um,
riveting.
but no, not really anything new. There are a few projects that are being worked on, such as the sign at the safety building, because there's no sign there, and so we're working on that. They also brought up about sealing the driveway at the safety building, which made me think, I don't know, I should ask Emmett whether we should think about sealing here. I'm at the point that I'm not comfortable with spending a lot of more money right now. I think we've put quite an investment in things, and I'll get a quote for the ceiling and see what that costs, but, you know, if you don't have money, you can't do these things.
Better be safe than sorry.
We did use the project at the safety building, which was a great project. Emmett did a fabulous job, but it did cost more than what we had anticipated. We didn't anticipate that it was going to be on Lake Winnapocket underneath that, slab. So we have exhausted the ARPA money right now. We are expecting the next installment of ARPA money, and I think that's going to be coming soon, but for the moment,
Yeah, in theory, that's before the end of this month, so.
right. But right now, in fact, I'll be asking you to approve withdrawing a couple of his invoices out of the safety buildings capital reserve fund, that I didn't have funds for in the ARPA fund.
Makes sense.
Did I leave anything out that you can think of?
Wasn't that crazy?
You know, we just had the normal, I think the department head meetings are very helpful for us to kind of stay in touch and do things like that. So we've gotten quite a few projects done in the last few months, such as the telephone system at the safety building and the project with the pad. I'm thrilled to see that. Emmett told you about where the fire truck is, or where the project of the fire truck is.
So it sounds like we don't have to worry about talking about that until after December.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
They
the way
take a
things are
long, long
going.
time.
Oh God,
to-
everything is not
Yeah, build up.
crazy.
Yeah. So, that's really what we have.
All right, so that moves us on to old business, the first of which is town-owned properties.
Yes, and we had talked last time about putting these all out to bid, so I have completed, it took a little bit to put, there are, I believe there's something like 15 properties that we're going to have. We had also talked about when we were gonna merge these, and it made sense for us to wait until we had a purchaser, and then we could just do the merging once rather than twice. Karen King and I have gone through and gotten some pricing on some of them, because when they were taken for taxes, we're talking before the computer system as we know it now, and she had to look it up manually to find out. Also, my clerical people, who is me, needs to send out the notices to all the abutters, and of course, there's several different abutters that go out. I'm hoping to have,
Well, that would be when we put them up for bid, right?
yeah, so I was.
Yeah, but to the abutters, you do that before we put it up to bid.
Yeah, this is the first step with the abutters, we're offering to the abutters.
Right.
For a bid
Oh, okay.
process. If we do not have success with that, then I guess we would send it out for another bid. for that. So I'm thinking that's going to be the first Monday in August that you're gonna see those bids,
Oh, okay.
just to give people a chance to think about it.
Okay.
The.
And so that will equate to 2 or 3 different chunks of land in Pillsbury Lake. Is it 3? More.
Oh, no.
I know
I've
there's
got,
lots of parcels, but I know a bunch of them will
Yeah,
be
but I think it
combined.
would be like,
1, 2, 3,
5?
4, I'm getting 5, yeah,
Okay.
5 or 6,
So
yeah.
approximately 5 parcels in Pillsbury Lake once the lands
Once
are
all the
merged.
merging is done.
And then our 2 big ones, is there any others?
No, not right now. We've
Okay.
got the, now Emmett's getting the trees out of the way. 173 Cornhill Road, that's ready to go. So I can send it out anytime, so probably should do that sooner rather than later. We've solicited quotes for 874 Battle Street, which you will see at your next meeting.
For cleanup, not for
yes.
purchase.
Exactly, exactly. So that will happen, and I'd love to,
And if you want to do that job, the bid spec is on the website on the front page.
so, we are looking forward to having that happen. Would it be advantageous for us to have the Mercedes towed away? It
I
might-
would think, there's somebody that advertise all the time, cars, and they'll pay $600, and I had them take 2 cars away at $500.
I know that you can get many people that will throw them away and give you money for them. I don't know how much money, but.
Well, this was, they're still advertising in the paper, and I think it's, what do I think?
Do we have
Murray's.
the titles and stuff to that, or do we not?
No,
know?
you
No,
don't,
they're
now they're
just-
too old.
They're too
Okay.
old.
And so
Yeah.
so I got like $500 a piece, but now they're advertising $600 a
you
piece,
wanna
so,
mention,
It's,
and brought up something too,
huh?
regarding those.
yes, he did. Emmett brought up using them at the fire department for training.
I think I'd rather get the money.
Well, but you might get the same money, cause
He's bought cars for training before.
Oh, we have?
and even if they get smashed up, the money you're gonna get's not for,
Well, I think my goal is to get rid of them. And just so that it's just one less thing. And I
But-
realize that people are gonna receive the house with as is, the way it stands. But, they are an eyesore, and I would love to see them gone.
but still, because it's really, the scrapyard is where you would get your money, unless, I mean, we could do a little something, we could advertise them, I suppose, at first, and say, is anybody wanna
And
buy them?
as you know, here's my problem. If it were me, I would wanna get as much money as I could. Since it's the town, it's no advantage to us to get.
So,
To do that
so that was
work.
actually gonna
As
be
money,
my question, since they are waste on the property, are they considered value of the property, such that we can't keep the extra?
Uh,
I would err to the side of caution on that one.
yeah,
I mean, it seems like maybe, but at the same time, it's weird, cause it's cars and.
It is strange, and obviously automobiles don't add to the value of real estate.
Right, that's
but-
the point.
But it is property. It would be the same type of idea with the furniture that's in the house, which is maybe worth something, but probably not.
Can you ask the attorney for that, about that? Or is that gonna cost so much money to just ask the attorney?
And to be honest, I'm not really worried too much about that. I just think that, it's, I don't think of them as having any value for the real estate, and they're old
Yeah.
cars, they're not.
I would suggest that, the easiest answer is to treat them as not having value and to not get value for selling them, and to let the fire department use them for training.
Where are they gonna train with them?
Previously, they've pulled cars up to behind the safety building, trained with them, and then gotten rid of them. They've had 2 or 3 over there in the backside in the past when they've done it and trained with their jaws and so on.
So you're making a motion?
There are 4 cars.
No, I was just suggesting that that would be the way that might make the most sense, so we could talk about it. made
Well, I
any
think I'd
motion
make a
yet.
motion, because I think you're right. I think at the end of the day, let them do a little training, which is gonna only help the town. The monetary money's not really gonna help the town. And then the fire department can do what they want with them after that.
Now, if Emmett says to me, I only want 2 out of the 4, can we call someone to tow the rest of the other 2, or if there's any left to tow away?
Well, some people even come get them. And
I think most people would.
Yeah, come and they'll scrap them or whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what the
Yeah.
guy
Yeah.
came and paid me and took the stuff away.
Right, but I think I kind of agree with what Dana's saying in the sense, both, you know, like, hey, let them do that, but it doesn't really benefit the town, so the way it's gonna more benefit the town is if the fire department can practice on something, which
I
is
would s-
awesome.
I would say if the fire department doesn't want all of them, then leave the ones that are in the garage and just take the
Oh,
outside
there's
eyesore
more in the
ones.
garage?
2 more.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, jeez.
So yeah, just take the eyesore ones and the others go with the property.
Okay,
Um,
okay. And if they don't want the eyesore ones, then we'll have someone tow them away.
Sure, I guess.
Well, they'll come get them.
So,
I mean, scrap is up right now,
Oh, I'm sure they will. Yeah.
so to make sure I understand, you made the motion to allow the fire department to use the cars for training?
Yes, yes.
All right, I would second that. So all in favor?
Aye.
All right. And do we have anything further on town-owned properties for today?
No,
Okay.
that's my report for that.
I guess this will be a much quicker meeting. I thought we were gonna talk about that in open bids. Next
will be,
topic,
yeah.
Department of Labor report.
You
Which I
saw the
touched
letter,
on.
you saw the letter that we received, I
Right.
got a I guess a 3-sentence letter.
A thumbs up.
That they, we satisfied what we had for violations, and so I'm very happy to say that I guess, that we fixed those violations and we're a safer place, and I'm also happy that the Department of Labor was happy.
Yep.
Yeah, good idea.
This is the first time the Department of Labor's ever been here, by the way.
I was gonna say, I don't ever remember
Yeah.
them saying
Yeah,
anything.
so
Isn't that
since
funny?
1860, it's leave it to me to be the town administrator.
I think it's good that you
Oh,
were the
and
town
you got it
administrator,
passed.
yeah, and you got it passed, right,
Yeah,
exactly.
So,
All right.
they were very cooperative, I would say.
Well, that moves us on to new business, code enforcement.
All right, we have some letters for continued code enforcement, a couple ones that were brought up previously that we haven't received a response from. And that's the first one. So my question is if we don't receive a response by the 7th, do we wanna refer it to the town attorney for enforcement?
This is the one he's referring
And that's
to.
gonna be the final notice I'm gonna send out that says
It's just,
you have the end of basically next week to get it, to say something, and if you don't.
So, and what you're looking for now is for them just to come out and try to make an appointment with the
Oh, you have it.
ZBA?
ZBA application or saying that they're going to remove it.
Okay. So you're just asking, it's not like we're saying, you need to remove this driveway, your time is up, blah, 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 just then we want them to do the proper steps that our rules and regulations were.
Correct, but if they don't.
Were already in place before we showed up.
Yeah, you can either do the rules and regulations, or you can remove it, is basically.
Yeah.
Right, and if you don't, and this is at the recommendation of the planning board, they're the ones who sent it to you in the first place. So, but then again, this point, it could cost the town money, cause there could be litigation. So,
No, it's not something that we're just trying to be fair to the town, so.
Right.
And at least it's not like do or die, just come in front of the ZBA and.
My comment, looking at the two of these, letters, is that one says the town may take legal action and the other says the town will.
so,
And I
This
think
is-
they probably should both say will when we make a motion and then sign.
well, that was gonna be a question I was gonna have later, is that when these do happen, do you want me to come back with you a second time before we send it to the attorney, or do you just want me to send it right to the attorney?
I personally don't feel that that it's going to matter, because either they're gonna do the right process or they're not.
Okay.
So I don't personally feel that you'd need to come back, but I'm not the board,
No,
so.
setting a precedence, that's what's hard, you
Yeah.
know, we all wanna quite frankly, some of our rules and regulations, which I, you know, but they are what they are, we didn't write them. And if we don't do our job with this, then down the road, somebody's gonna say, well, hey, you remember this driveway over here that you allowed? And you gave them like 8 chances and you're only giving me 1, so we have to follow protocol,
Okay,
right?
Yeah.
That's what
That's
you're
right.
saying, follow protocol.
all right, well,
Do,
then I will
do
start
I agree
doing
with protocol? No, but I didn't write them.
will instead of may.
Yeah.
Because then I know I have to go ahead and send it over immediately.
Yep.
The next one is a new one that was an anonymous complaint. I discussed it with our road agent. He confirmed that these driveways were put in recently. So that's the next one. And then I had a new one I sent out earlier today. That was from the last meeting, the one on Pleasant Street. Finally got the address for it.
Oh, this
And
one
this
I
has
had
been an
that one.
ongoing
Yeah.
problem since 2018. And the last letter they were sent was on May 27th in 2020. So I think they've had adequate time to correct the situation. So, but I've drafted up another letter to send out to them to say either take care of it in this next 30 days or have a plan to us.
You don't have that one.
I don't have that.
So, do you wanna go quickly make the change to will so that we can sign it?
Well, if you've already said will, I mean, I can,
Well, right, but if
Why
we're
couldn't
gonna
we
sign
write-
it to send it out.
if you really want the change for the one, I can go change that real quick.
Why couldn't we cross it out and initial it? Okay, never mind. I'm
You
just
will
cross
be
it out.
signing, the
Oh,
manifest
really?
at the end of this week or the beginning of next week, so he could change it and have it written out in
Right.
a few days.
Because I've been going
That
through
would
with
be
one
okay, too.
notice and then a final notice after the 30 days have gone up. And giving them to the end of the next week to,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah, so I guess these are just for us to look at and we'll sign them when they say will along with the manifests later.
well, those ones are dated. I guess I could change the dates.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, do you wanna just go run, make that change and print it, cause then we can sign it.
Well, doesn't the first one say will? The little one should say will.
Yeah, you said there
One of them should say.
wasn't a new
Okay, this
additional
one.
one, so.
This one
This
says
is
will.
May,
Well, that one
this
says will,
one,
so.
these two are May,
This one says will, because I was gonna put will in on the final notices
yeah.
and may on the preliminary notices.
I would,
So you sign that?
oh, okay, so these aren't the actual final?
No, that's the final notice and the final notice says will.
Okay,
But we should sign these too.
Right.
Okay.
So this
that
is the
makes more
process
sense
I'm
then.
going, because there might not, if the situations change or we find out information that says this was wrong, there's a reason, there's probably grandfather, whatever reason happened.
okay,
And that one is, we are definitely gonna do it.
Okay, so we're signing all of it.
alright, that makes sense.
It's a fun process.
I thought they were all the same stage of stuff.
No, one of those is the final, 2 of those are the first notice.
Isn't it great when everything's so convoluted?
Right, and I think
I'm so, language is so funny, cause
and
it's still your interpretation.
Yeah, I know.
Then I did
and it
my
also
format and I
was
screwed it up.
suggested that we have the police department deliver the final notice.
That'd probably be
Yeah,
a good
they've
idea.
done that in the past for various things.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what the board also wants done in this
So
situation.
that way, there's no question about getting lost in the mail or anything like that.
Yeah, right,
I
exactly.
mean, typically it would be registered mail anyway, but
It costs us money.
it happens quicker and gives them more time to respond.
And it's, yes.
Well, it also shows a little bit level of seriousness.
True.
I don't know that I totally agree with that.
Well, my original idea was to send it certified mail, it required a signature.
Yeah.
But sometimes people don't go pick it up and it just stays at the post office and then comes back.
It gives a little more push to the thing when you
Right.
see somebody
I
in
mean, I might do
uniform
both.
showing up.
Just to make sure I have the record of the certified mail.
Well, that's true.
That's all code enforcement, there will be more in the future coming up. There are a couple more I'm researching that I have not ready to go forward with yet. That I've received complaints about.
All right.
Listen, we just wanna be fair, that's all. I don't-
Exactly.
I don't wanna be known as, oh, this guy over here gets to do it, but this guy over here doesn't.
No, that just starts trouble.
That's when everything
Big
goes.
trouble.
That's my only thing about having the cops go, it's like everybody, see, oh, well, cops were at your house, what's wrong? I'm not a fan of that, to be honest with you, so I guess I would say, I would certify it. The mail, you know, and then if they don't pick it up, then maybe we send the cops. That's my opinion.
So you think that if they haven't picked up their certified mail, that the cop should be sent?
Okay,
Okay.
Does that
That
make more
makes sense.
sense? Because,
That sounds good.
because.
cause I wanna make sure the person gets it.
No,
Right.
and I understand that, but I could tell you some stories of what gets sent in the mail and doesn't, and I'm really shocked at it, and in this case, it's a driveway issue, so. It, unfortunately, Pasana, people, oh, why were the cops at your house? I mean, granted, they come through my yard, but I don't care, you know, but you see what I'm saying.
Half the time if people get stopped
Oh,
blowing
yeah.
through the intersection,
Yeah.
everybody pulls into the end of my driveway and blocks it, so the cop is in my driveway often with the lights flashing.
And don't you wonder why?
And I'm like, are they okay?
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
they just
Yeah,
pulled
yeah.
somebody over.
Yeah, so that's my opinion on that.
All right. Anything else for code enforcement?
Nope, that's it at the moment.
That moves us on to abatements.
So abatements, we have a couple abatements. The first one is for a camper lot, and that one is because the camper was registered and the changes weren't made prior to the tax bills being issued. So, but it is correct in the system now.
Good.
And then the other one was for somebody whose cabin burned down last year. The cabin was still on her tax bill for the property card, so we calculated the value of what the cabin would be and are abating that amount.
Okay. Well, the cabin was only worth $132.
Well, $138 of taxes.
Right. No,
Shouldn't
but-
bill something that wasn't there.
I'm sorry,
they
right,
gotta say
right,
that.
Dave, that is.
I'd
what
like
she
a
said.
cabin for $138.
Oh, I meant tax. We were talking about
That's the one
tax, we
we're
weren't
saying.
saying what it was worth.
I don't think you'd like this one.
Right.
I mean, it might have been a little bit nicer.
I mean, before it burned down, it might have been okay.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Where was it?
It was right across from the police station.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Down in, there's a woods road.
Oh,
It
you
was
can
right on
see the,
river.
you can see the garage.
Ah.
And I'm going to be requesting, just so you know, you might be seeing another abatement from this, because it burnt down last year, and they might wanna request some of the tax be abated from last year too. But they need to make a request for that, so we have all the documentation.
There really was a place down there.
It's just a small little
Yeah, it was a little camp, a seasonal
camp,
camp.
yeah.
Wow.
Camp.
And now it's,
I could tell you a story about that same property, but I won't do it.
because you are being
I found it
recorded.
fascinating.
And that's the end of abatements. That
All
was
right,
quick.
that moves us to correspondence.
You saw the letter that I received from the DES, and this is just referring to, we checked all the administrative boxes for our application for White Plains. So that is in process. Also, today, I received an email from someone discussing a raffle permit. There's an organization that wants to have a raffle, and raffles do require a permit from the
Oh.
town per state law. Since I've been here, we've never issued one, and I didn't see a record of issuing one.
Probably because nobody's ever asked.
So
Might have been.
Right, I
I
would've
made
think
one
too.
up,
Oh,
which I'm going to email to you
okay.
and have you take a look at it, and then I will send it to that person, once I get a heads up on it, and see what you think. And I certainly can give you a copy of it now as well.
Since they are required to ask the town, is that because the town is required to provide anything?
Right.
It does not refer to that in the RSA, no.
And what's that, like a state law?
Yes, yeah.
Who comes up with some of this stuff?
Some towns charge for raffle permits.
I was just gonna say,
However,
because, you know, if it's,
You would have to change our fees to do that.
But most times, people are doing raffles to raise money for something, doesn't that seem a little, is it because they maybe have to support police or something?
Well, I think what it is that it is to ensure, and I know this sounds kind of hokey, but, because in Webster, it's different, but to ensure that it's a bona fide raffle and not something that is going to be a scam to rip people off.
Right,
Yeah,
and how do we make sure of that?
Well, I think when you get your organization and you know the organization.
Oh, then you
I
feel
mean,
good about- I got
Usually,
it.
if you didn't know
Yeah.
the organization, you might ask for a little more information. This has a little information on it to, tell what it is.
Is there any reason why we can't approve it tonight?
Only the fact, you certainly can.
I mean, you tell me, Dave, I just,
Well, we don't have a form or anything like that yet. We obviously have a draft in
Right.
front of us. Has this been a, like, an NHMA boilerplate, or has it come from another towns, or has this gone through legal?
If you were to look at the city of Keene, you'd think it would look very similar.
but not exact, Dave.
Well,
Okay?
I mean, this does say Webster.
Yeah, right. There's already a
Another-
change there, huh?
Another possibility is you give, say, Dane Army the authority to approve raffle permits for people, so that way they don't have to wait for a select board meeting.
I would
That's-
definitely be down with that. My question before we approve this and or that would be, is there a fee and or a reason for negating the fee that we wanna codify and update our fee schedule with?
I'm all for fees, revenue. However, this is the first one in 2 years that I've encountered, and I really don't see if you charge, I don't know, $25 or something, that's gonna make any difference to the town.
The only reason I would even, I don't mean to interrupt you, but
No.
what my brain would say is if somehow we had to support it with, I don't know, a police officer over by the street because they're doing the raffle on the side of the road. Now, to me, that's a whole different ballgame, but I would hate to think that we would fee a raffle.
I think some cities and towns face the issue that it may not be a charitable organization that is doing the raffle, which I can see a fee
So
for
it
that.
costs you money to research it? Is that what,
No,
where do we
maybe.
get the money
Maybe.
from? That's what I'm trying to find out.
Maybe.
It
Where would we
probably is
get
for
the mon-
administrative fees.
Yeah. I'm
I,
not against the fee issue, Dave, I'm just
I-
saying that I don't think in our case that it's
necess-
applicable.
My personal feeling for it, just before we go any further, is that it would be along the lines of 501c3 or local nonprofit or charitable, or like for supporting the
Fire department.
the fire department or
which is
something
what's
like
happening
that.
right now.
Right, so I would say that if there's one of, like, that sort of thing should be exempt from any fees, but if, like a commercial entity wants to go raffle something and we're included as, okay, we're gonna come out and offer raffle tickets and they're gonna raffle it off or announce it as part of, being in Webster or anything, that's when I think there should definitely be a fee involved.
Why? I know you have a reason, but I can't think of it in my mind.
There's a few, but one, if you're, there's kind of two trains of thought. The first one is, of course, how and when would you deny the application for raffles, to do a raffle? And
That would
if
be the
that's
re-
not going
Well, hold
to-
on,
if
that would be
that's
the
not going to
research. Would that be
happen-
the research and the time that takes them to research
That
to
would- right.
to make sure it's a real raffle?
like, okay, let's say I show up and say that I have a 501c3, I check the box, say, yes, I'm a nonprofit, I'm raffling stuff. I don't, but they don't know that. I could provide them fake documents, I could provide no documents. They might just say, oh, you're a known member in town, of course you're not gonna pull one over on us, like, none of that makes sense to do, and so there's gonna be a certain amount of administrative work and overhead and time to make sure that it's a valid organization.
What do you feel like
So-
for that have you ever done this before where, did Peterborough ever have,
Oh, absolutely.
and did you do a lot of research?
Basically, no, not really, because we knew the organizations that were involved. And I don't really think we ever had anyone that we refused because we didn't know them or we didn't trust them.
Quite frankly, I think those are the people who wouldn't ask for a permit anyways.
Probably true.
And that's
So I
probably.
feel like we're, this is what I feel like, I feel like we're punishing the people, even though the fee might be what, $25?
You know,
I
I'm
feel like we're
thinking, if you're gonna
punishing
do a
people.
scam,
Right,
I would think there'd be more profitable ways to do it.
that's right, than a raffle, right.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like you're punishing the people in a sense, not that saying that you're wrong, and I get where you're coming from, that try to do it right, unlike the people that don't do it right.
Well, so that leads to the second part of it.
Okay.
Whereas after that vetting, or not so much vetting, we are now stamping our seal of approval that the town of Webster has said this is okay and is valid. And so if something goes wrong with it, then we may have to be involved.
And so the fee must
Which
grow then, I mean, because if you only charge them a $25 fee to do this, if we get to that point, Dave, it's
Right,
not gonna,
if you get
it's
to
gonna
that
cost
point,
way
and
more than
we're
that.
talking legal and or police, now hopefully that never happens, it probably never would, but you're talking serious amounts of money at that point.
Well, who pays for that?
So, the taxpayers at that point.
That's right, but what I'm trying to say is a little fee's not gonna cover that, is what my point is.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
so, anyway, that was my gut feeling on it. But in general, the form looks pretty standard and straightforward. So I guess that's,
I think in a way, I think we should have, just so we, a raffle print and have people's names and stuff so to take
oh, I think
contact.
the permit part is, well,
Yeah.
we're not denying that shouldn't happen, and hopefully people would even know about it, I mean, I wouldn't. But with that being said, I don't think feeing them, I don't believe in the feeing them. And I know what you're saying, like, what happens if it gets out of control? Well, what, if you charge $25, that ain't gonna cover that, or is not going to cover that anyways. That's my take on it. And I also would like to just see these guys, that's what their job is, to do the research, to make sure. I don't think that maybe I would be under the impression that they would tell me or you and Dee that, yep, we checked them out, they're good to go. So what's the difference? They're gonna do that before they sign off on it. Save a step.
I like the detail that we're asking for, amount of tickets, amount per ticket, et cetera. However, that also gets into the question of, A, if it changes, what happens? And B, thankfully, we don't have to worry about the state in this regard, but at what point and what size and number, especially if it's not a 501c3, but some other organization, would we have to generate or report to IRS or something of that nature?
I don't think we'd have any obligation to
Okay.
report to IRS.
Because I don't want us to have to deal with that.
No,
I don't wanna
not
go
So,
there.
so if if
You know,
because of
and if-
the information that would require it, then we should ask if we can remove that portion. But I think it should definitely go through legal to make sure that this looks good to them, before we approve the full thing.
I can send it to the lawyer and have him look at it.
The only thing I remember in years past is that one time they were gonna have bingo to make money. That had a whole different thing, cause you had to have a.
bingo's-
That the state is
Right,
involved.
That's
yeah,
state
yeah,
involved.
that's, lottery and
That
stuff.
was, yeah, that was, yeah, that was.
I look at this as
I'm really surprised raffles are,
well, that bothers me to begin with, that's why I'm looking at this as like the fact that, come on. You know, there's rules and regulations in this world that are appropriate, and the intent of them are there. This is,
like,
hey,
there's gotta be some, like, this happened really bad that caused it, but like, this is just weird.
yeah, and I look at it as, we have two very capable gentlemen over here that would know, and I mean, if they saw a red flag, they'd be like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Well,
And then they can, maybe would come to us and say, we don't feel that this is right, and then maybe we vote on that, but I feel otherwise. I mean, I look at anybody that's running a raffle to raise money for somebody, the less harassment they get, the better, in my mind, cause it's usually a volunteer doing it,
in most schools and like,
you know what I
you know,
mean?
yeah.
We want them to
parent
keep their money.
groups they always run like 50-50 raffles
That's right.
to support
And,
stuff.
and I'm not sure they fill out one of these, Dave.
No, I don't think.
Well, considering we've never had one,
Right,
granted, I
so,
don't know that they've done it here, but.
just saying, no, I
you
think
know,
there's a lot
I-
of
It's.
stuff
Yeah,
that
'cause
happens.
a lot of people add raffles, like somebody will donate a lot of
Oh,
different
and
things,
you
and
love
then they
it,
have
you
all
love
that
it, they get,
raffle
you know,
stuff.
that's what it's all about,
So
so.
here's one, the Historical Society last year, did they do a
What was
raffle
that?
permit for their silent auction that they did?
That was
That's
just the
an
other day.
auction, that's not a
That's an
raffle.
option.
Okay.
Still raising money.
And this,
But this isn't a permit to raise money, it's a permit for a raffle.
Oh, jeez.
and I
Is it
think
mine?
this was brought to our attention by this organization, and so they were aware of the law.
Oh, they were trying to make sure they were doing it
And
right.
so
Right.
they
Yeah, that was
obviously
very
wanna
nice.
make sure
Yes.
they do it correctly.
You know what I'm still saying, the
I do,
people that are
yeah.
trying to do it correctly
I do.
are the ones that we really don't wanna
So,
charge.
so here's,
And I also agree that, unfortunately, and I run into this all the time, that we are obligated to go by the law, and sometimes it does not make sense.
Got,
Yep.
agreed.
so it sounds like what I'm hearing from you is that, what you want to have happen is, that this go past legal and be approved, and then allow them to be the approval unless they see something as a problem.
That's fine. I mean, I don't even know if I can do the legal, but that you guys can have that opinion of that. I don't. But
Do you wanna make a motion to that effect?
I can, and then, yeah, okay.
Sure.
All right. I make a motion to, oh God, Dave, you always do this to me. I make a motion to accept the form as is, and that, Dana and Russ can make the decision on if the raffle is legit, and if not, that they would not give them the right to have the raffle, and then it would come in front of
To
us.
us, yeah. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Oh, thank you.
That was quick.
Yay. All right.
So,
we
one
have to
more
sign
raffle
it?
question.
Oh,
One more raffle.
Here we go.
Let me raffle.
are you
this.
selling?
Actually, I wanted to ask you about a raffle for my Mercedes-Benz. So I'll change this form to let Russ or me
Yes,
sign it
yeah.
if approved.
Yep,
Okay,
yep,
thank you.
thank you.
All right.
Make it easier.
Well, we pay you guys the big bucks, come
That's
on.
why, we know, yeah.
Is there any
Wondering
other
why.
correspondence?
That's
Research
the
and
only
raffles.
correspondence I
That's
had.
it.
All right.
Wow.
Considering our massive amount of no public present, we
Thank you.
can move beyond public comment and deal with our draft meeting minutes. Did you both have a chance to look at those?
I did.
Yes,
Oh,
I
those were
did.
fun ones.
What was that?
That was a fun one.
That was a fun one. Fun minutes, wow.
Oh, it was because it was a public hearing.
We
Yeah,
are
this was
hoping
our
that
public
our
hearing.
camera situation has been resolved and that it's working well.
Oh.
We had a problem last
Did it
time.
not record
It
it?
did not record it.
You
Oh.
recorded it, the audio didn't work.
The audio was poor.
Oh, so what did we do? Oops.
So we weren't on
Yeah,
The
TV.
hum was a loud hum, and you could barely hear you underneath the hum, but where the hum came from,
It was great if you could read lips.
It sounded like a power fluctuation hum, but we've not been able to reproduce it since.
That was Russ humming, I know he did that.
See, I mean, you know technology
Oh, yeah.
way better than, I mean, I just get frustrated, but
not
that's
mine,
crazy.
yeah.
And they can't even figure out where it's coming from.
Oh, I do audio and text
Yeah.
stuff, and I'm like, what could be that, and like, I went and
Yeah.
tried all of them and
Yeah.
all the different permutations, I couldn't make it hit,
Wow.
so.
It was a, maybe it was Daniel Webster. He was here and he just didn't really like it.
I have a question, did you ever find out, my mother-in-law's picture used to be up here, did you ever go downstairs and ask if they took it out of here or somebody stole it?
I have asked Brenda,
Yeah,
and she said, I haven't seen that picture for a long time, and I wondered where it was too. So she has looked backstage, she's looked around, and as I have. And I hate to think that someone stole it, but it's
Yeah.
not here.
I know, it was here a long time, it was here at least 20 years.
You know, so that's unfortunate. I'm hoping maybe we'll find it
Yeah, maybe truck over or somewhere.
Yeah.
someplace, but, I
Well,
don't
if I
Somebody's
happen
at a
to walk
party
into
and thought they
somebody's house,
wanted
I recognize the picture, I guarantee I recognize it, so.
well, then I won't invite Joe for cocktails.
Well,
might
all I
recognize
can say is if somebody took it out of the town hall, I wish they'd bring it back, cause it
Yeah.
was something she gave, worked on
I think it's a
nicely.
shame.
It is,
Yeah.
it is,
It's a shame.
so.
All right, so I would move that we accept these meeting minutes as written, unless there are suggested changes from either of you.
No, thank you, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. That moves us on to motions for payments. Now we get to do the evil
Good
deeds
stuff.
of spending our tax money.
We're
Some
doing
of it's
pretty
our
good.
See, it didn't seem bad.
No, I mean, it's good, but we have to have it to spend it. I don't like having to give the town money
I
to
think
spend.
people appreciate that.
All right, I would move to request the trustees of trust fund issue a check in the amount of $495 payable to Fleece and Flower Farm for invoice 6825, which I think is still stuck here, yes. For road construction work to come from the Road Preservation Expendable Trust Fund.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Would move to request the trustees of trust funds issue a check in the amount of $2,445 to Fleece and Flower Farm for two invoices, 6820 in the amount of $990 and 6824 in the amount of $1,455. Both invoices for the completion of the Public Safety Building pad project. These funds to be withdrawn from the Public Safety Building Capital Reserve Fund.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And do we have any further motions?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, I do.
Oh my God, man.
As we discussed, I'm going to ask your authorization to pay the MasterCard bills or the Visa.
Yes. This isn't a motion, though, this is just a signature, correct?
I think we had decided last time you would just
Yeah.
sign it.
So
Oh, okay.
this is just a signature like the manifests.
Okay.
And I gave you backup if you had any question on the bills.
Let's see.
I didn't really see anything.
Oh, oh, you
Did-
just stupid. This is,
We mentioned the abatements, did we actually sign them?
Good question, did we actually
I
sign?
don't remember signing the abatement.
Well, it takes two to obey. So if we got two,
I mean, maybe I just passed it back and forth.
I mean, you
or-
might have. If
Or signed
not-
it with the others, but.
Let me check for you. Yes, you did sign it, thank
Okay.
you.
I want to say, which vanilla envelope is it behind?
My code is over
Doop, doop,
here.
doop.
All right. Just making sure that,
Thank
didn't
you.
forget that, okay. Do we
And
have
isn't
any
it
other
weird when you
motion?
get signing, you like. you
It's like,
forget
I
that you
know
did
I'm
it.
signing
Yeah.
these, and these are the right
And we
ones.
looked at it, it wasn't that, it was just,
Uh-huh,
we talked about it.
yep. Any further motions for payments?
There's no more. No.
All right, and any further documents to
We
sign?
have no other documents for you to sign tonight.
All right, any other questions, comments from any of you?
not me.
No?
And do we need any non-public for anything?
You do not.
Perfect.
Wow.
I would move that we close this meeting at 7:44.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming.
Yes.
Or
And we always like to
not.
add a little humor.
Thank you for watching.
Right.
All right.
Oh, this wasn't even turned on.